This week, an interesting passage about sanctification, but first let's talk terms. So justification is the application of the sacrificial sacrifice of Christ on the cross for a person's sins to render that person forensically holy, like holy in the eyes of the law, not guilty of the sin against God by violating the laws of God. If that's what justification is, sanctification is the process of God making the person holy indeed or in his or her deeds. It's practical holiness through the transformation of the person, a sanctifying, holying process of the person. So the verses we're looking at today are in 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verses 23 and 24. Let's begin with a reading in the English from the ESV. Now may the God of peace himself sanctify you completely, and may your whole spirit and soul and body be kept blameless at the coming of our Lord Jesus Christ. He who calls you is faithful. He will surely do it. So there's a lot to digest here. We're going to take it in chunks, bite at a time, and see what we get. Autos de ho theos. If we stopped there, what we would have here is, and God himself. But it's not just God, because it's ho theos tes erenes. So, and the God of peace himself. We have autos functioning here as an intensifier. It's a reflexive use of the pronoun to intensify the identification of God. So, and the God of peace himself, hagiasai, this is an optative mood verb. It's somewhat rare. The optative was falling out of the language by the time of Koine. It's prevalent in classical Greek, but it's dropping out in the Koine period. So hagiasai is a voluntative optative expressing an obtainable wish or a prayer. And may the God of peace himself sanctify you. The may part is the optative part, right? It's that prayer part. This is what I hope for you, that the God of peace might or may sanctify. Humas, you plural, and then we get this great word at the end, holoteles. Holoteles, so holos, whole, and telos, end, purpose, or result. Like it's compounding the notion of completeness. May he sanctify you in a wholly complete or totally complete way. The interesting thing here is that this work of sanctification, being wholly complete, totally complete, is entirely in the hands of the God of peace himself. So this sanctifying work is God's work, just like the work of justification is a work of God and not of man. The work of sanctification, at least here in verse 23 in 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, is wholly and completely the work of the God of peace. Let's now take a look at the next chunk, and it's complicated by word order, so stick with me. We're going to have to do a little jumping around here. Kai holokleron humon to pneuma kai he psuke kai to soma amemptos. Jump down to the next section. Ente parousia to kariou hemon Jesu Christu tere thee. Now, here's a strange thing that we have to do. We have to start with the very last word, tere thee. It's another one of those voluntative optatives. May it be kept. It's a voluntative, passive optative in the aorist tense. May it be kept. May what be kept? Then we have to go all the way back up to the first block at the beginning. Kai holakleron humon. May the whole of you be kept. May the whole of you be kept. And then he tells us what he means by the whole of you. To pneuma, the spirit, kai he psuke, and the soul, kai to soma, and the body. Kept in what regard? Kept how? amemptos, irreproachable or blameless. May the entirety of your being, spirit, soul, and body, be kept by whom? By the God of peace himself, who he hopes will sanctify you in a totally complete way. May that entire being of you be kept by the God of peace, irreproachable and blameless. Jump down to the second chunk. Ente parousia, in or to the appearing, to kuriou haimon of our Lord, Jesu Christu, Jesus Christ. And then our last word that we started off with, terethei. May it be kept. So what do we have thus far? We have a prayer, we have a hope, and it's a dual hope. It's a hope that the God of peace himself would completely and totally sanctify you, plural, and that the whole of you, plural, should be kept irreproachable all the way up to the second coming. But now we have, after the prayer, an assurance. And let's look at the assurance in verse 24. Pistos ho kalon humas. Ho kalon, a participle with an article in front of it. The one calling, humas, you plural. And then pistos is a predicate nominative. So we have to supply the equative verb is. The one who calls you is pistos, faithful. So this is an ontological statement. This is a statement about being. Who is the one who calls you? The God of peace himself, back from verse 23. And what do we know about him? What's the ontological statement, the statement about his being? He is faithful. Then we get hos kai poiese. It's a verb in the future tense, poiese, and he, hos kai, and he shall do it. So the one that he hopes, the God of all peace himself, would sanctify you wholly and totally complete way in every part of your being, spirit, soul, and body, and should keep you holy, should keep you irreproachable and blameless unto the second coming, unto the parousia. Because he is faithful, says Paul, he will do it. So bear in mind, coming away from this, because of the nature of the one who calls you, his faithfulness, he will do the twofold thing. He will sanctify you, and he will keep you blameless and irreproachable in the fullness of your being, in the fullness of time, all the way to the second coming, because that's the nature of who he is, because he's faithful. And the most important thing to come away with from these two little verses is this critically important work of sanctification is initiated and completed in its fullness and its totality. By whom? Not by you, not by me, but by the God of peace himself, who is by his very nature faithful. Thanks for watching. I hope that was good for you. If it was, you know what to do. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend. And until next time, Karis Kai Rene Humin, grace and peace to you.